Super Smash Bros. Hello, and welcome to Real Person Reviews. I'm Sam, and I'm a real person. And today I want to talk to you about Super Smash Bros. Brawl for the Nintendo Wii. But a few things up front here. One thing is that, of course, there is a written review of this, which you can check that out. Link is down in the comments. You can look at that, before or after, or I guess instead of this review, if you want. Also, yay, it's Smash Week, all these Smash videos going up and whatnot. There were some before, check those out. There's going to probably be some more after this, check those out. Just a whole week of videos, check them out at your leisure. Whenever you're watching this, go find the things. And also, I'm going to assume that you've either seen my previous reviews on the first Super Smash Bros. And Super Smash Bros. Melee, or that you just happen to already know about them yourself, because you're Smash fans. If you're watching the thing on Brawl, you're a Smash fan by now, ain't you? I bet you is. I should probably splice this in, just to say quick, my Wii's broken, so that's why I didn't replay this or anything, and why I don't have footage of it. If I miss a couple things, here or there, mess up some details, correct my stupid ass, but that's why. And, I guess that's why you're going to be seeing just a blank picture. It's not a blank picture, a still picture instead of gameplay. So, sorry. That's oops. Splice back to the other stuff. I mean, it's totally not edited. I didn't edit this later. Alright, let's go to the thing. So Super Smash Bros. Brawl is kind of the same thing. It's a series by now, you kind of understand. There are a few things in the core gameplay they've now changed up and added and whatnot. One of the things that was put in here is that the dodging mechanic has been changed so that now it's easier to dodge. There's no penalty of dodging. You don't lose jumps for doing the dodges in midair. And you can do dodges on the ground really easily by hitting shield and hitting down at the same time, or just sitting down when you're shielding. So it's easier to do those. And there's a shorter vulnerability time, I think, but it's also a shorter recovery time to get out of that. So it's just been real tightened up like that. Also, the overall combat has been slowed down a bit from Melee, which I like. So it's a little slower, it's a little more weight to it now as well, so it's a little bit floatier than Melee was, but still not quite as, as floaty as the first game, so that's somewhere in there. Another thing is also they put in a thing that I guess it's called a Smash Ball, and it'll appear, it'll float around the stage, and you try to hit the Smash Ball, and if you hit it enough times, you do enough damage to it, you will then absorb it, and you'll be glowing. It's this multicolored, glowing ball. So when you get it, you'll be glowing like multicolors like that. And then you hit and hold the special button to do what's called a final smash, and it's different for every character. And it's usually your most powerful move, and it just looks really crazy. A lot of times it'll stop stuff in its tracks and just do this crazy attack. It's usually pretty strong, so that's why it's a difficult thing to get your hands on, but be careful, because someone hits you, they can knock that out of you, and then someone else might be able to get it, and if it goes around too long with nobody, getting it, eventually it will just kind of float away. So that's another piece of the main mechanics of just playing. A lot of the modes come back here. I want to say that again, there's a lot... It's crazy. It's just crazy, because, again, there's more stages, more items, and more characters than Melee. It's just this huge jump and all that stuff. Again, it's wow. It's just, how do they do that? How do they even have all the space to do that on the disc? It's crazy. So they do that, and there's also a lot of the modes carry over. There's still the classic mode. There's still all-star mode. There's still the home run contest. There's still breaking the targets. All those are still here. Most of that's still there. There's a multi-man brawl, so it's the same idea, though, just using the word brawl instead of Melee, because it's a Super Smash Bros. Brawl. But there's some newer stuff here too. One of the things, I guess, event matches also to carry over as well. I'm trying to remember everything. The new thing that comes into this game, Oh, also there's co-op event matches. I'll mention that about those too. But the new thing is that instead of an adventure mode, they replaced that with Subspace Emissary, which is this big campaign. And I mean, I gotta say, like, I love this thing. It's a big campaign where basically you start off as you have a choice between, I believe it's Mario or Kirby, and then you start playing, and then events will happen, and you can choose what characters you want to use, and as you go along, characters will meet up with each other, little pockets of characters here and there, and the story will switch off to other characters. You're playing as different characters, picking different orders of characters you want to be, and it's this weird connected story where all these different characters from all these universes are kind of connected into the same universe, and they start meeting up with each other, and trying to help each other out in this crazy, like, story that builds up. And what's really cool is because, you know, you go through these different stages fighting these minor enemies and stuff, and then you also fight a lot of these main enemies, the different characters. There's a lot of exploring and finding these different things in the maps, and it's really big. It's pretty expansive, and it's cool to have this nice, you know, story experience to go from the beginning to the ending of it, and have it to be like a complete kind of experience rather than just a bunch of fights or trying to string together fights in a certain way. It feels much more like you're on this big adventure, and that's awesome. It's also cool because the story's done in a way where none of the characters actually talk, but they all kind of, you know, are looking at each other and making noises and gestures and stuff, and that's how they're communicating. And I think that was a really interesting way to do that, so that your mind has to kind of fill in some of the blanks for it, and you have to have a bit of an imagination to, like, go along with this. And if you do have that, then that's awesome. You just do it. That's, I mean, that was really great. And again, like I said, I like the combat revamps and stuff. So there's all that. There's also challenges in this game where then, you know, you gotta complete certain things, and once you do that, it'll unlock this challenge, and it's this big grid, and they're in these little, like, glass squares on this grid, and it'll open up, and then once you complete a challenge, it'll, you know, the things around it will be revealed of what you have to do in order to unlock those other challenges, like what the challenge is. While you're doing these, you can also get these golden hammers under some of those tiles, and using them, you can then unlock any of the already, you know, any of the other locked tiles with that, which is pretty cool. That you can just kind of like break those open. Well, siren, there's weird noises going on. Anyways, we'll ignore that. We'll pretend that's not happening in the background. Maybe you can't hear it. Maybe I'm crazy. So you do that, and it kind of helps you compete, you know, and try to do all this different stuff for doing that. And it's like, I don't know. It just gives you, like, this idea of, like, there's more stuff to do along with the event matches. There's, like, another challenges, or just more shit for you to, like, okay, maybe this is something I wouldn't necessarily try to do before, but I'll try to push myself to do that and play the game some more. And some of the things you unlock are, like, trophies, and you can unlock, like, trophies, you can unlock extra music, and you can unlock items for the stage builder, which there's a stage builder in this game, too. Which, God, I spend so many hours on the stage builder. Basically, and that's, like, in a grid, and you can go in and, like, you know, put these preset pieces around in there, and then you can pick what music plays on the stage, and you can just make your own stages and try to do a bunch of different little gimmick things and all that, and it's really cool to be playing around with your own stages. Spent so much time doing that, and you can even go and, like, share those online, which, speaking of online, there's online play in this game, which is crazy. Online play, so you can go around and play with people all around the world. It's really cool. Also stickers, another thing I didn't mention with the collectibles thing. Instead of trophies, there's also stickers. They don't come with tidbits about them, but the stickers do come in handy. You can use them. They're all based on Nintendo characters and stuff, but you can use them and put them on certain characters in your Subspace Emissary file, and then give them certain little stat boosts or other special effects to help you play through that. But you can do this. And you can also get coins in the game, which through playing certain modes, picking up pieces of paper in these other modes, will give you coins, which you can use in the coin launcher, which is a little mini game where you shoot these coins at these little different like little enemy things in this arcade-like machine. And then also trophies will appear through there, and you can try to get trophies, and you get more trophies and stickers through that, and it works with all those things. But yeah, the online, the thing you can do now too, which I think is pretty crazy, because then it's, you know, it was a free thing with Nintendo's thing was free, and you could play online. That's cool. That's pretty interesting to do all that and be able to play with people, you know, like whoever, like online. It was a crazy thing to do because it was new to Smash Bros. But that's also where the downsides start to happen. You know, you have stuff like the online was basically pretty bad. It was really laggy, and the kind of lag with this was annoying because it wasn't like stuff slowed down or anything, or it was like stuff was behind. Like when I played, it was clear that I was lagging because a lot of times I would make direct contact with characters. It wouldn't hurt them; they were just fine. But then I was getting knocked around when characters were doing attacks that weren't anywhere near me because the whole timing thing was off. There was a lag. There was a weird delay happening, and that makes that pretty much unplayable. So that sucked, and of course now that's been shut down on the Wii, so you can't really play that online anymore unless that works on the Wii U, but I don't know that it does. I don't know if playing on the Wii U necessarily means that it's going to run off a different server than it would. I'm not sure how that works, but I don't think it works anymore. That's what I would assume. So like there's that. Also the clone character thing is still here, where it's like, you know, they still have some characters that are kind of like clone characters. It's not as bad this time around, but there's still some of that going on. I do think they fixed a little bit of it, though, and they're not quite as noticeable. But it's still, for some of them, it is still a little bit like, I don't know. I guess I should have mentioned this in the positives. I'm going to mention this real quick, though, because I just remembered it now, is that also you have Snake from Metal Gear Solid is in here, and Sonic from Sonic the Hedgehog series is in here. So basically, you're bringing in two of these like non-Nintendo characters. That's a pretty interesting thing to do. Downside, though, let's just flip in the downside since we're already down in those, is that basically they're not really, they're not Nintendo characters. So it's probably not going to pull a whole lot of fans from the Metal Gear series, especially for that, because it's like most of those are usually on, Sony systems. So people probably aren't necessarily going to be like, oh yeah, because I don't know if there was any Metal Gear, maybe there's Metal Gear Solid games on the Wii, but I doubt it. It's like, I don't know, it seems like a weird thing. I don't know if they'd really pull an audience or not from that. Interesting idea, but I don't know if it's quite as well thought out as the Nintendo ones. So, I don't know, that's an idea. And yeah, like, for, like, a lot of this, too, I guess, the visual style, the art style is a little bit darker, and, like, it's more detailed, and I think that's good, but overall it's, like, darker, it's like, I don't know, I don't really like that as much. And it's cool because, like, it's nice that they did a lot of attention to detail, especially for the fans who would care about, like, certain, visuals, animations, sound effects, and music. There's a lot of original things happening in there, like, oh, here's an original music from this, an original sound effect from this, original, like, visual representation from this. A lot of that going on, which is cool in theory. Like, people who like that are really going to like that they paid attention to it. Obviously, like, they've crafted it. Like, this isn't just, like, a lazy, cash in that nobody gives a shit about, and people putting a lot of detail into this, a lot of time and care into it, but at the same time, I think that also pulls away from the cohesion element, and it makes it so it's like, okay, well, do these things really exist? Should they exist in the same universe? I guess not should they, but, like, they don't really feel like they should coexist, because it's like, this universe, things look this way here, and then all of a sudden this other stuff looks totally different. Stuff has a certain vibe, it has the way it sounds, the way it looks, the way it feels, and the certain different franchises coming together kind of clash with each other in a way that doesn't really mesh. And I guess clashing is part of it, because you're supposed to be fighting, but, like, I just think that artistically it does feel really haphazard for a lot of it, and that's sort of a detractor for me as well, I think. But I think by far the worst thing, and I know that people, I'm pretty sure people are going to agree with me on this thing, is the idea that this game being so much about random chance. There's a lot of this whole skill thing that's been kind of thrown out the window, because apparently the creators were kind of mad that in Melee, people were playing it competitively, and it was supposed to be played more for fun. It wasn't supposed to be this competitive tournament style kind of game. So, the one big fuck you to everybody to try and make them not do that with this one was that, they put in pratfalls, which basically means, like, every so often, like, your character has a chance at any given moment to just fall over on his ass, and it's like, okay, like, that's weird, and, like, if you slip on a banana peel, it'd be the same kind of effect, but instead it would just be for no fucking reason. It'd be out of your control, it would just happen, and it was just programmed into the game. It wasn't an option, which is fucking stupid. So even if you turn off all the items, you play on Final Destination, and play with these characters that you think are, evenly matched, and it's all just about your skill, you can't turn off those fucking pratfalls. There's just always going to be this thing, so that, it'll give people a chance regardless of how good or bad they are, but it's so random, and if it's, if you want it to be based on skill, you don't really have that option, unless, of course, you download that whole Project M thing that people patched into it, which, I don't know, I can't condone that, because that's not official, but, people do it, it's a doable thing, and, after the big fuck you, I guess, if you want to do that, go for it, because you should be able to have that option, I think. Anyways, though, that's not the point. I can't really go into that too much, because that's not really officially part of the game now, is it? But there's that. There's some of the moves for some characters even are kind of random. Like, Mr. Game & Watch has his hammer attack that he does with his over special, his side special. And it can be a number from... He hits somebody with a hammer, and it can be from 1 to 9. And they have different effects depending on what number comes up when they use the hammer. That's totally fucking chance. What about using items? Those should be good, right? You get an item and you use it. It should be to your advantage. You were able to get to it and use it. And sometimes it could be good, but sometimes it'll blow up in your face. Sometimes you get a Pokeball out there, and it's like, oh, here's a Pokemon, or using an assist trophy, and it's like, oh, cool, I got this thing. And sometimes, it's just totally neutral. It's like, this doesn't really do much of anything to anyone. Or sometimes you get ones that are actually worse for you, like they'll hurt you, or they'll make it just more difficult for you, especially if you're a human player, because some of the stuff, it's like, how does that affect a computer player? They can still see, they can still do shit while other things are happening, because they're programmed to keep fighting. And it's not like they're looking at the screen like I am as a player. So a lot of stuff can be very frustrating. The final smashes are unbalanced because some of them are way better than others. Some characters just feel totally, shitty. Like, some characters just feel like they have overall better moves, like, totally, than others. And competitive players will tell you that Meta Knight was broken, that he was way too good. Maybe I'm just a bad player. I definitely am. I didn't find him to be that great. But he was still fun to play as, so I guess, I'm sure they're not making it up. But, like, some characters feel like other characters counter them really hard. Some characters feel like they're at a total disadvantage on some of the stages because they're very vertical stages. They don't have very much for vertical jumping, or they're very, horizontal type of stages, and they don't have good, lateral movement. It's annoying, and like it feels like a lot of it is unbalanced. And either they were too lazy to take the time, or they just didn't spend enough time doing that. I'm guessing it's either they didn't spend enough time trying to balance that stuff out, or there was just way too much stuff in the game to possibly balance all that out. And while it's nice to have all the stuff there, if it doesn't really work that well, if the core gameplay is just so flawed by all this random bullshit, then it's probably not that great to have it doing that. Focus on that first, and then build other stuff off of it. I think that's absolutely the biggest flaw. Is just like everything is so based on chance that a lot of times, especially if you want to play competitively, but even if you just want to, have some fun with it, it's like there's only a handful of characters that I even like playing as in this game, and that's frustrating because it's like there's so many here, they should all be fun, or at least most of them, but instead it's like I play as like 5 people or something, and then the rest are like, that's okay. To, they range from like, this person's okay, to fuck playing as that person, fuck this person, that kind of stuff. So I think that really could have, been better balanced and just generally better designed in the core gameplay aspects of it. And as much as I can rag on the game, and I'm sure a lot of other people will too, I still like it. I still liked all the stuff. Like, Subspace Emissary was great. I love doing the story mode. The challenges were really fun. I even had fun just kind of looking at some of the stats now and then just to see, what I had done in the game. I liked building stages a lot. I love doing that. And I like playing as some of the characters too. So like it's not like a total waste. It's much more fun to play, either solo for some of those modes. Event matches, those are fun too. It's fun to play solo in some of the modes. Trying to do like co-op. You can do co-op in the Subspace Emissary on the event matches, or just play multiplayer, which I play with my friends a lot too. And like that's fun as well. If you're just looking to have some fun with it, it's great. It's not the kind of game you want to play for a competition. It's not as well balanced as the previous games. But I do think that it has a lot to offer, and I think that it's, if you're a Wii owner and a Smash fan, I think it's definitely one you should get. It's definitely worth $20-$30, might even be worth $40, depending on how much you think you're going to play it, how big of a fan you are of the Smash Bros. Kinds of games. And, it's really good, and I guess I feel like it gets a bit of a bad rap, so I just wanted to just throw in my 2 cents on that. But I understand why people don't like it as well, so that's enough contradicting myself. So, I don't know, what was your favorite character in Brawl? Or your favorite mode? I think my favorite mode probably was Subspace Emissary. I'd probably go back for that. I also really like the Stage Builder, but I don't know if I would play that as much as just going back to that Subspace Emissary and doing more of that. My favorite character in Brawl was Donkey Kong. Super fun, pretty fast, pretty strong, good range. I like playing as Donkey Kong a lot, so that was mine. And leave all that stuff in the comments. Again, you can go look at the written review from the link down there if you still want to check that out. And, look forward to, you can go back and look at the other Smash Bros. Stuff, or go forward, if you're from the future, you can look forward, or just, wait for the rest of Smash Week for some more Smash Week videos, Smash Bros. Videos. Speaking words is easy. You can do it too. So, yeah. I forgot to do my really funny joke. I wrote it in the written one if you'd gone to that. But I was like, let's get ready to rumbrawl. So it was like a play on words. And we all know how good I am at wording. Super Smash Bros.